let's bring out another co-founder of digital marketer, of native commerce, and the War Room. A big round of applause for Perry Belcher.
Hey, guys. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Hey. How's everybody? We got a few people. These are all the nerds. I know who you guys are. So we got a few amount of people in a big room. So if you guys move toward the center when we do questions, if you move toward the front, we'll be able to get to you for questions a lot easier. Thanks for coming for this today. This is kind of a weird experiment for us. The last day of all of our events, we try to talk more about the future and what's coming, right? Then the first day is a lot about what we've learned in the last year. The second day is about what's going on right now. And the third day is usually about the future. So I moved to Los Angeles, to Bel Air, California, about 6 months ago, and from Austin, Texas. And being an owner of Digital Marketer, an owner of Native Commerce, an owner of the War Room, I thought I really, really knew like everything I could know about marketing and marketing. I didn't think I knew everything I could know, but I thought I knew a lot. And as soon as I got to Los Angeles, a friend of mine who's going to be on this panel in a minute, Travis Phipps, invited me to a mastermind. And I sat in the room, and if you know me, it's hard to believe, I didn't say hardly anything in a whole day. And I talk all the time. Only because these were the smartest people I'd met in forever and ever and ever. And all they were talking about was artificial intelligence, machine learning, and in some cases, influencer marketing. So I knew this was the thing, right? And as I've been in LA now for this 6 months, all anybody's talking about in the LA market right now is AI, right? And there are a lot of reasons for that. Some of our panelists can explain. The best explanation that I've heard in a while was one of the Hearst twins, that they'd invest in these kinds of companies, said that it's just going to create an incredibly unfair advantage because one properly trained AI application could do the work of 100,000 people. So if you imagine, you can begin to compete. People who understand this technology can begin to compete with companies that have thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of employees do the same amount of work and level the field in a brand new technology that Jeff Bezos says we're in the first pitch of the first inning of the first game of. So I'm glad you guys are here, and I'm going to bring up our panel now and have them take their seats. Come on up, guys. All right. As you sit, I'll try to start to introduce you. Come on, guys. This is Anna Selby. Anna's with Pretty Witty. All right, I like that. All right, this is Anna Selby. I've got to remember all these notes, so I don't read that well. So Anna is, because I'm from Kentucky. All right. Anna is the founder of PrettyWitty.com. She's a consultant and strategist. She's the lead. Matter of fact, she's the lead strategist for mindful health, and she uses AI to discover better learning on behavioral triggers, and particularly her current application has to do with behavioral triggers inside Facebook bots and learning to communicate from AI to consumers post and pre and post purchase. So she's gonna have some interesting stuff to share with us. Next is Travis Phipps with Battle Bridge Labs. He's in Los Angeles. He's the guy that invited me to the I Feel So Dumb mastermind that I was talking about when I came in earlier. Travis has a quite advanced, primarily Facebook ad buying agency, does a lot of Facebook, but uses AI to create these micro targeted markets, to find these incredibly micro-targeted markets within Facebook. And particularly, the thing I thought was most interesting was to cull out the customers that you don't want as much as to attract the ones that you do. Next is Benjamin Running from Jet.com. He's the leader of the innovation lab at Jet. Is that correct? Yeah. So all the cool new stuff Jet's doing, Ben's involved in that. Their AI, their AR, and Internet of Things, which we were having to talk about yesterday. I don't want to steal your thunder, but when he told me, he said, pretty soon your washing machine's going to be able to order its own detergent. I was like, okay, that's worth talking about. And Mike Rhodes on the end. Mike's with websavvy.com.au. he talks funny because he's from some other place down south, like Alabama or something. Australia, sorry. I thought there was going to be a Village People song. Okay, so Mike co-wrote The Definitive Guide to AdWords, right, with Perry Marshall? Yeah. It's been, like, it's considered one of the most knowledgeable Google people, especially Google ad platform people in the world, and has been working with Google more deeply on how they're using AI in their advertising platform and particularly their reporting platform. Fair enough? How'd I do?
Awesome.
Not too bad. Okay, good. Because Anna sent me this text this morning with this long, and I'm like, there's no freaking way I'm going to remember all that. All right, cool. So we're going to do a couple of speed rounds with these guys. So what I wanted to do with this panel, because I hosted a panel on AI at War Room, at the last War Room meeting. And I thought it was going to be super awesome. And the guys there were super smart, right? And everybody sat in the audience and went like that. And a lot of these talks, you know, are about, you know, robots are going to make baked chocolate chip cookies for us pretty soon. I wanted to talk about practical AI as it's used today. So I'd like to do one round with each of these guys, ask them how they're beginning to integrate AI into their strategies right now, in their business right now, today. What are they doing now, right? And then I'd like to do a second round with these guys and talk about what they're going to do in the near future, right? What technology already exists that they're engaging in the near future as it pertains to machine learning and AI. Then we'll open up for questions, and then you guys can talk about the spaceship guys making chocolate chip cookies or whatever you want to talk about. And they'll try to answer those questions as best they can, and I know they're very knowledgeable. So I'm as excited to learn as you guys are. So we ready?
Let's do this.
Good? Okay. Let's get started. Anna, tell us what you're doing right now.
All right, so I work with brands right now, Mindful Health, as you mentioned, and Real Dose. And basically, we're looking for ways to make the business sustainable. And obviously, we do that through what we call conversational commerce. A lot of the conversations that we do not only support the user, but they bring in a cold or warm lead into our world with the AI bots. And from there, we turn them either into a lead customer and then an influencer, so you have a PR army working for you. Like Perry was saying, one thing I want to impress upon about AIs and bots, a lot of people go on the leg of, oh no, they're going to replace us. And I'd like to change the mindset that they're actually there to support you for these small and large problems in your business that you may not know that are there. So for example, we marry our persona marketing. So we'll put an organic post online. We'll train the avatar on how to respond. Once they respond, we bring them into a bot sequence. Something I think we do a little bit differently that I believe is winning, we actually give our bot a persona. One of our bots we call Betty Bot. We let the user know that it's Betty Bot. They're there to support us. 20% of your market on Facebook comes to Facebook for loneliness. So we keep that in mind. You want to, so I can give you the top 3. This is directly from Facebook, so we're a Facebook partner. If you want to know the top 3 mindsets that you're working with on your Facebook and Instagram platforms, 20% is loneliness, 13% is major depression, and the other 13% comes in for weight loss. Woo. So those are
I got all 3 of those covered.
Perry, everybody, Perry.
And I am the Facebook avatar, it turns out. What do you know?
So there's a couple different approaches that you can do with the AI bots. You need to start with your intention. What is the intention do you want? Do you want to build a subscriber? Do you want to invite them to your YouTube channel? Do you want to sell them on something indirectly or directly? And that's really how you have to devise your sequence. What we do as well is we embed what's called input behavioral triggers. So we'll take, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ryan Levesque, is a great example of survey sequences. We'll take an 8-part sequence. We'll actually put it into a conversational piece with buttons that the user is actually answering that quiz. On the back end, we're pulling behavioral, not only traits, but conversational triggers. So we can actually take that subscriber list and retarget them later on down the road. And I know that you asked for examples. So we just did like a 7-day promo, organic post on inspiration. We were able to do 7 posts. We brought in 1,700 actual clients that converted through this bot. We built a subscriber list of 21,000 people, and the revenue was just shy of 50,000. Now that's organically.
What tools are you using? How much of this is logic, of you sitting down to logic this thing out, which I know is a lot, right? Yeah. Because right now you have to a beginning logic and a beginning data set usually, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what kind of tools are you using to assist you to do this right now? Because they're going to want to know that. That's the things they want to know.
We survey. We survey quite a bit on.
Are there tools to build these bots, though?
Yeah, so the bots that we use, I know that Ezra was saying mini chats, which is a great option. We personally use chat kits. I like chat kits
Chat kits?
Chat kit, yeah. Chat kit is phenomenal from the standpoint of the input triggers that you can pull in. And when you actually go into the live chat platform where you see the avatars interacting, you can start seeing their behavioral profiles and the demographics built out. The reason why I think that is brilliant is now I can retarget people that are too tired or hungry with additional products. The other thing that we do as well is we're using a lot of Google geocoding. So for brick and mortar, if they're in the area, we can actually have the bot say, hey, did you know that you're like 5 miles from such and such? And then we can open up a product carousel so we have a one-click purchase.
Fantastic. She's kind of dumb, isn't she? All right.
Incredibly dumb. I get it all the time.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes.
And we'll come back. We're going to do a round 2. So what's your name? Travis, that's right. Travis Phipps. So Travis is one of my best buds. Travis Phipps with Battle Bridge Labs. Tell us what you're doing right now.
So right now. So well, anyway, I want to thank digital marketer Perry, Roland, Ryan. This is, so I'm a little bit of a fanboy. So I've been coming to digital marketer and the trafficking conversion events and the content and commerce since 2009, so back in the old days. So this is really cool for me. I wanted to thank you guys for being here. What? Also, when he talks about when he just moved to Bel Air and then rolled up into my mastermind, we have an annual client mastermind, and it was like, holy crap, Perry Belcher's here. So it was really cool for us. And then it's even better to have. So I'm just a hick from Oklahoma that does a lot of ad buying. He's a hick from Kentucky, so we get along really well.
It pays him to do a lot of ad buying.
It pays me to do a lot of ad
Travis
buying.
buys all of our, well, most of our media at Native Commerce now.
Yeah. So so I also happen to roll up, and I've got a lot of close friends and business associates that are super smart. So I happen to be I like to be at least the second dumbest guy in the room, and first being Perry, whenever. so anyway, so that's so what he's talking about. What we're doing right now is. What we're doing right now is mostly on that Facebook ad buying stuff. So we've partnered with a company who builds custom audiences in Facebook, and eventually we're going to be rolling it out in Google Display. It's all in beta, and so I'm very what we're doing right now. So I can talk about making chocolate chip cookies in the future or whatever, and what she's talking about is what I consider the future already. So she's actually already doing that stuff, so I think that's pretty cool. But what we're doing from an audience perspective is we're using real-time machine learning to help, those of you that are familiar with Facebook and Facebook ad buying know that the lookalike audiences historically they can be very effective because you upload your list of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people. They go out and they create an audience that looks from 1% to 10% that looks like your perfect customer. So it's great. It's pretty awesome. They partnered with Facebook has partnered with the groups like Equifax and Axiom and some of these bigger media players or big data people. So that was great. It was working for us back until February or March. It started not working so well. I don't know what happened, but we've partnered with somebody that can take that, and what I call it is like Facebook lookalike audiences on steroids. So what they do is they plug right into your CRM, so your customer relationship management system, and and they're targeting every single conversion that you have. So if you have a Facebook audience or organic traffic, Facebook traffic, any of your existing traffic right now, they tag it in, and in real time, every conversion that happens, whether that's the amount of time on site, whether that's a lead that you're generating, whether that's a purchase, whether that's an existing customer that drops out, or whether that's a customer that spends an inordinate amount of time. So any of these, you can set up thousands of triggers that I call micro conversions that lead up to actual purchases. And in real time, it adjusts this audience. So using your own real data. So in Facebook, it uses historical data. You upload them and it matches it, and it comes up with geographic or demographics that are similar to your audience. What this does is it allows you, so if I'm a 44-year-old guy who lives in Los Angeles, California, and drives a Cadillac, and I buy insurance and I file a claim. So if we're building an audience and we're trying to adjust, we're trying to only buy ads for people that are less likely to file a claim. That comes in, it triggers, it hits their CRM, and now the segments that we're able to advertise to automatically become, it's organically and automatically become more targeted. So you can target.
It was interesting that they were talking about, particularly for the insurance industry, loading up their very best clients who pay the most premiums but have the least claims, and their very worst clients who pay the least premiums have the most claims, and build negative and positive profiles based on those ideal or least ideal customers. And they can tell through all the data points that they're pulling in if this person's alcohol consumption has increased over the last 3 to 6 months, right? They are probably more likely to have an automotive insurance claim than someone whose alcohol consumption is lower over the last 6 months. So they can go through and you start with a data set of your best and your worst, right?
Yeah, well, you start with all your data.
Yeah.
So you start with all your data, not best and worst, and the algorithm figures out who your best and worst are.
But it was amazing because one of the things with the insurance industry, and it might not apply to a lot of you guys, but I thought it was fascinating, is that sometimes they're worse off to get a customer than to have not gotten them in the first place.
Yep.
So if you're a Geico and you definitely know that people of a certain age, a certain neighborhood, a zip code, a geographic area, a certain alcohol consumption, a certain job title or whatever, or certain life cycle, if they're going through divorce, for instance. They're going through divorce and maybe they're drinking more, maybe they're more likely to have a house fire or an auto accident. They may just eliminate that lead and never contact that lead to follow up for sale because they don't actually want that customer. So it's very interesting, I thought. So what's the primary tool you're using now?
So we're using, there's a company called Alumni, and so this particular tool, it's in beta and you can't really get it. You can come and talk to me or talk to one of the guys in the black, in the black shirts. But so it's a company called Alumni, and what they do is they plug into your CRM and then build these audiences, and they're super segmented, super targeted.
They're really working only with agencies, right?
Yeah, they're only working with agencies,
right now.
but
they may open up to the public eventually.
And I would say this needs to be at a massive scale, because what you can do with Facebook lookalike audience is good for 95% of us out there, but when we're trying to take it to the next level and we're trying to when tenths of a cent are important, and whether or not you're advertising to somebody you want to advertise to or not, all that stuff is really important, and cool. And it's a lot of fun. I don't know.
Fantastic. Ben, so don't you guys have a new partner at Jet?
Oh, we do. It's called it's called Walmart. So I work for a startup that was acquired by Walmart last year. We've gone from a
Can we bring his mic up a little bit?
Literally.
You guys hear him okay? Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we've gone from a very small startup, relatively small startup, to literally the biggest company in the world, so good times. But the name of the game.
You get to go to Arkansas a lot?
I've been to Bentonville.
I've been to Bentonville before. It's hot.
It's
an awesome
hot,
place.
Yeah.
It's like, my man. All right.
Good one.
You sure got a pretty mouth for a boy. Go ahead. They're sure as hell going to like you in Arkansas. Turn your cap around backwards though and fit right in. I'm sorry, man.
All right, start over. Okay. So in e-commerce, of course, the name of the game is about providing a great experience for your customers. But what happens when you essentially sell the same product at the same price as a bunch of other businesses, right? You have to win on experience, and in e-commerce, I believe that translates to ideally a curated, customized experience for your users. But how does that square with having millions of customers and 25 million items in your catalog? And if you think about Walmart globally, it's something like 67 million items in your catalog. You can't really have somebody going through and curating a selection for each customer, or even curating each category or each group of products, because there are just too many millions of products and too many millions of people. So the focus right now is on creating smarter, customized, more personalized feeling experiences for people. And these may be around where you live. They may be around events that are happening in your area. They may be around your personal shopping history, the shopping history of people like you, and then the shopping history of people who are also buying those same products. So it's about using these data sets through machine learning, through deep learning, through neural networks to basically build out experiences that feel more customized and that feel more special to you. This is really going to resonate with people when they go to, say, another retailer and they see a page and it's just like, okay, recommended products. You know, recently I bought some toothbrush heads on Amazon and it showed me recommended products and they were like it was modern art. It was just like 75 other toothbrush heads in a row. And I'm like, I already bought toothbrush heads, right? So if you could provide a better experience and say, you've already bought toothbrush heads, here are other things that we know you are going to like now, based on data, based on machine learning algorithms, kind of crunching that data, and then kind of moving forward into deep learning neural networks, which is kind of a subset of machine learning that is really going to like create those kind of abstract connections and hopefully create really rich shopping experiences for people. And then kind of outside of product recommendations, I think a really strong use case, like Anna was saying, is chatbots for customer support. Customer support is expensive. It's expensive to have somebody responding to chat 100% of the time on the other end, to pick up the phone every single time. So if you can field the easy requests using an AI-powered bot, and then once things get complicated, or if the user needs more, or if it needs a higher touch, then you bounce it to customer support. I think that's a super valuable
Is there a great
use
app
case.
for that? Is there a great company you know for that does that?
There are a number of companies that we are looking at right now. We'll update you
Okay.
at a
All right,
future
cool.
point.
Is that good? All right, fantastic. All right, Mike?
All right, so I'm going to make it very practical. If I got the first slide up, please.
We have slides.
Mike got sick.
Oh.
Look at you guys, see? Look at all you guys. This guy's
Thrown
like,
together
what's
in my
that?
drunkless at 1 in the morning. So if you've ever been in the middle of a proposal, or you've got the call from someone and you want to know a little bit more about their company and you want to find out really, really quickly, growthbot.org. Chatbot seems to be the new pivot. Last year, everyone was pivoting. This year, everyone wants to talk about chatbots. So this is a bot that you can use through Slack or through Facebook Messenger to find out information about someone just by chucking in their email address really, really quickly. Or if we jump to the next slide, please.
The worst guitar player in Texas.
By far.
I didn't know who Jet were, so I threw that into GrowthBot, and it tells me all about them.
That is accurate.
That's good. And the next one, please. Next slide. I don't know if that's accurate.
It's a little out of date, but not bad.
But it's the same information I would have got by searching around a whole bunch of places and going to LinkedIn, which is probably out of date anyway, and quickly being able to find all of that information. Now, as agencies, back me up here, agencies, what's the worst thing that we all hate doing comes around every month? Reporting. And we all loathe it. So if I can have the next slide, this is a tool from Automated Insights. They've got some amazing tool, but this one, Wordsmith, you plug it into Excel or Google Sheets. If you're doing fancy stuff in Tableau, you can hook it into Tableau as well. And it will just make sense of all of that data. Find the stories in that data so that we can get on with doing what we should be doing, which is taking action and talking about expected business impact. Instead of hunting through this thing and running pivot tables and trying to find all of that stuff, just let the AI do all of that shit for you. The next slide, if I can. We've been using this for about 3 years. We've actually moved to Data Studio now, so we're not doing these big, long monthly reports. Everything's now live dashboards. Check out datastudio.google.com. It's phenomenal. And as of last week, it just got a lot better. So you can pull in data from a whole bunch of different places, including Facebook now. And if there are any geeks in the room, the first person that builds an infusion to Data Studio connector thingy, you'll win. And I'll buy it. This is from 3 years ago, so you can imagine how much better it's gotten now, but I trawled through my emails to find this. This is plugging an analytics account into the AI and saying, go. Nothing more. It's figured out.
What does it do? I don't understand what it does.
So it writes your reports for you.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So even if you don't want to send this report to a client, you can just run it internally to read through this stuff.
Oh, this is
find
the
stories.
this is a report.
This is the report
Very cool.
that they email you automatically every month or every week. If you want, you can do this weekly. And it's literally $4 or $5 per client done per month.
We were pitched in a content agency a couple of months ago by a company. I wish Karen were here. She would know who it is. But they, New York Times is using them. A lot of the newspapers are using them now.
Same company as Wordsmith.
Is it Wordsmith?
Automated Insights.
Yeah. If something comes out like a bomb's dropped in Kuwait tomorrow, right? That within a couple of minutes, you just say, I want a 1,500-word story about this bomb drop in Kuwait, and this thing writes a story.
Yep.
Journalists are scared to death of it because it can write the story in seconds, and then usually an editor can edit it in 3 or 4 minutes, and they post.
Yeah.
And they're live. It's really changing the whole world. And as we were watching it, they showed us in the presentation, which was really smart for them. They said, this is what it looked like 3 years ago. This is what it looked like 2 years ago. This is what it looks like a year ago. And this is what it looks like now. And it's like, holy hell. It's like writers got to be scared to death.
Oh, yeah.
Journalists got to be scared to death.
I've seen a presentation where they read out the baseball article that the machine wrote and one that a top SI journalist wrote, and you cannot tell the difference.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's quite expensive right now, but it's a really amazing technology.
It's coming down fast.
Very cool.
And there are similar applications for writing product descriptions, I think, which is really
which is
awesome,
really important
because
for-
when you have tens of millions
right?
of items, and if you're getting your product data from multiple sources, you know that some of that data is often pretty junky, or it's just broken, or missing attributes, and these things will just literally rip through every product page on your site, millions of them, and write 5-paragraph, pretty good product descriptions.
That was that thing about, what would you do if you had this mechanical slave that would do 1,000 people's work for you, right? It's pretty amazing, the advantages one could have. Okay, well that was cool. We good, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so let's do just a really quick round. This one might only be a minute or two. It's up to you guys, but I'd like to hear, because we got a little bit of time left. I'd like to hear, what do you think is going to happen next for you with the use of AI or machine learning in the next 6 to 12 months, the near future, not way out there. Anna?
Two-part. We're going to dive deeper in partnering. Obviously, a lot of us use the digital landscape for online stores. We're going to, our goal is to partner with brick and mortar stores as well as promotion partners, and then link up what we were talking about, the Geo-codes for Google. So we can actually have our avatars or our users, if they're in the area, Betty Bot will pop up and say, hey, did you know you're only 0.2 miles away from, say, this coffee shop? Did you want to check it out? While you're at it, here's a coupon. So then it's a different way to cross-promote on a social organic level. Another thing that we're doing is to cross-promote, taking people basically through a syndication channel loop, moving the people, we have like 1 million plus on our email subscriber list, moving them from email into our subscriber bots, because right now we're averaging a 92% engagement response rate, much higher than our email. So bringing them over to that, and then the next project.
What's your biggest tool? What's your biggest idea in doing that? Well, how do you think you're going to do that best? How do you think you're going to move them from email to bot?
Email to bot.
You've got somebody on your email list now, but you really want to be on your bot list. What's your best idea so far for doing that?
Get away, transition from push marketing to pull marketing, inviting them into one of our social channels. Because when we do our social marketing, it's persona marketing. We're not marketing the same personality on Facebook to Instagram. So we're going to resonate differently, getting them to actually engage with that edge piece. All I need is an engagement, a yes on that edge piece. They're in, they're a subscriber. Sure. It's that simple.
Fantastic. Okay, great.
Yeah. So I've got a two-part as well. So I think that on the media buying side, one thing that we're trying to stay in front of is these automatic algorithms, these machine learning algorithms. And I'd love to hear what Mike has to say about this as far as AdWords goes, because one of the things, there's only so much stuff that humans can do manually adjusting bids and for a geographic and for time of day and those types of things in AdWords, and there's only so many things that you can do in Facebook as a human being. If the Facebook algorithms get better at their lookalike audiences and they're optimizing for conversions, we can't do that. We don't have the data for one, but for two, they're getting much better at it, so we try to stay in front of it, and so that's one of the things that we want to keep ourselves from being obsolete. I think Perry said at the War Room that if you're not doing this, then you're going to be obsolete or you're going to be out of business.
To be extinct,
yeah, you're going to be extinct.
It's like, this is like, according to most people that I talk to, that are higher up, it's just another level of cleansing. you know, as little guys. You know, we know so many little guys that were in some web market 5 or 10 years ago, and I see them now, and I'll hear from them. I said, "What are you doing now?" "Well, I'm selling furniture at, you know, at whatever." And it's like they just got eliminated because they got into that thing and they sat there and they thought, "Oh, I'm good now. So this is cool." This is a very evolving everything that we do in this new old economy, I guess now, the old new economy. It's so rapidly changing that you just can't sit still. It's impossible.
Yeah. And one other thing. So I was talking with if you guys know, Try to Trap. I'll put them on the spot. But Walt and Michael, they're the only people at the War Room that whose eyes didn't glaze over and go like that. Whenever we had this conversation before, but they're doing some pretty amazing stuff. And I'm talking about the future of this conversation. So it's a kind of a combination of landing pages and ad copy and learning this sales process that we can put people through, kind of like a bot, you know, this automated machine learning thing.
I think if you're a copywriter, by the way, there's going to be a whole new career for you.
Yeah.
Because I think that, because as a copywriter, I'm really excited that I have so much psych behavioral knowledge. And I think having that psych behavioral knowledge on a conversion persuasion subset, right, paired with a tool like this,
Massive.
paired with tools like this, are insane, because geeks are going to have the tools, but they may not know the psych to use them. And that's going to be a very interesting, geeks is a bad term again, but it's interesting that if you have the psych and the persuasion background to tie in or partner up with one of these smart folks, right, and you do some crazy stuff. By the way, we're going to take questions at these two mics when these other two guys finish this round. So if you guys think you have questions, you might want to get in line for questions. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, so I see it as a great opportunity to kind of lower the friction when it comes to placing an order and when it comes to reordering, right? Because right now you probably have to have some kind of like stimulus. You know, you're out of something. I really need to do my shopping. I saw a commercial on TV for this, and then you have to kind of like think that maybe you want to go to Jet.com or Walmart.com, or maybe you want to go to a Walmart store. And there's kind of a lot of friction in this process. So by using AI-powered experiences like NLP devices, natural language processing, which you may think of the Alexa, Siri, Cortana, and kind of the other voice assistants, it's a far kind of lower barrier to placing an order when you can just sort of casually speak out an order. And as the technology gets better, we're going to get better at kind of determining the intent in multi-item ordering, right? So right now it's good if you say, I'd like to order, a dozen bananas. That's a pretty easy query for NLP to understand. We're getting to the point where you can actually just kind of naturally speak a long shopping list. You can just kind of ramble and say, I'd like to reorder paper towels, and I need orange juice and ice cream, and it'll understand that you don't mean orange ice cream, but that you mean orange juice and ice cream. So these are kind of real problems that are slowly becoming solved in NLP, and the experiences are getting a lot better. And then the other one is computer vision. So camera search, we're getting to the point where it's pretty easy right now to do AI crunching on an image and understand the content of the image. And you can point that at a product, and this is in a lot of apps. You can get essentially locate the product on a number of shopping sites pretty easily. And we're getting also to the point where you're going to be able to do a multi-item scan of a kitchen, of a bathroom cabinet, and kind of just pass your camera over a variety of products in your fridge, whatever it is. Maybe it's a smart fridge that has this camera in it.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me. Actually, some of the fridges now are coming out with a camera on the inside of the fridge, right?
Exactly.
That basically inventories. How freaky is that?
It's
right?
cool. And like, if you think about the friction involved in these events, right? If you have to formulate a search in your head, go to a web browser and type out that search, that's relatively high friction. Next would be kind of like NLP. You would have to formulate your kind of query in your head and then speak it into a microphone, which easier, but the easiest is, of course, just taking out your phone. You don't even have to know what the thing is, or you don't even have to like realize you're out of something. You'll basically just be able to scan your cabinet, scan your fridge, scan your pantry, and easily reorder those items.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. When we were talking about the machines reordering their own supplies and things like that, your dishwasher that reorders its own supply, I think it's incredible that Internet of Things thing is pretty crazy. I watched New Relic. You know, New Relic's stock now is just like that.
Yep.
Largely because of the Internet of Things and all the analytics they're delivering and that of all this data gathered.
Yeah, and we chatted about it briefly, but I think a really great takeaway for marketers, it may not be super actionable just yet, but it's coming, is that it's really going to disrupt your conversion funnel, right? When your appliances are ordering things by themselves, you go into a Walmart right now, and there are 100 different kinds of laundry detergent on the shelf. There need to be like 2, you know? Like fresh mountain scent and like gentle unscented, basically. So when your laundry machine can say like, okay, I'm in the Amazon ecosystem, I'm in the Walmart ecosystem, or kind of any other ecosystem, and automatically reorder those products, we've got some thinking to do.
It's not necessarily tied anymore, right? So you have an opportunity to potentially sell an alternative. The machine has the ability to sell an alternative to Tide.
Sure.
Right. So I think that's pretty cool. So, and I noticed too, I had a chart on it, but I didn't prepare as well as you guys, as well as Mike did. Obviously, as well as Mike did. But I know that voice learning, the curve of voice learning advancement in the last like 24 months is like
amazing.
This.
It's straight up.
It's just a straight up line. I think largely because of Alexa and Siri, and they're just learning at an alarming pace. I think that Alexa could do 12 commands when it started, and now it can do like 380 or something clearly, and it's getting pretty good at guessing the others. So
The sort of state of NLP where you used to be able to say a very limited query like, what's the capital of California? And it would get it. Now you can say, of all the states in the continental United States, what's the one that has, the tallest mountain? I'm thinking of that state. What's the capital of it? And it can like dissect a continent.
I write all my copy with voice recorder. I don't type any copy. So I write all with voice recorder, and I've went through all these different versions of Drag and Dictate over the years. And now I do it. I have an Android phone only for that, because the Android phone Google app for voice is just freaking spot on. It's amazing. Even proper names, everything. I have to do almost no editing to it. I do have to transfer it from the phone over to the computer.
You know, it's spooky where that's going is they can now lip read better than a human.
Really?
The computer can lip read better than a human now. Not just listen, but
that would make a lot of
video
sense, because that's a much more
surveillance,
measurable thing, actually. I would think it would be. I think it would actually be easier than voice almost, because you're measuring micro muscle movements.
Not if you're from Australia.
No crazy accents.
Crazy.
So I'm going to answer the question a slightly different way. Most people get a little scared about all of this AI stuff. And all of the news you'll read is AI is going to take all of the jobs, all of our jobs. I actually think it's going to replace tasks, not jobs. So do me a favor, draw a box on your piece of paper. Go on, play along. Draw a box and draw 2 lines through the middle. So you're going to end up with a box with 3 sections. This is a framework for how you think about the answer to this question. And then I'll tell you where I think I'm going with this. In the bottom bit of the box, could be automated. You write that bit down. This is the audience participation part. Could be automated. In the middle bit, someone else. So that's going to be somebody with a lower skill than you. And then in the top box, unique ability. It's a Dan Sullivan term from Strategic Coach. What's the stuff that only you can do? So I'm thinking about our business in those 3 terms. Now, could be automated. There's a bunch of stuff that you've heard of and that you know that you could be doing. It's not automated yet, but that's okay. Over the next 12 months, you can think about how do we start to automate that. So for us, that's Google bidding, like Travis was saying. The machine isn't quite as, like this is us, and we're getting better like this. The machine is, like everyone's saying, it's coming up like this. But right now, most of the time, it's not quite as good as a really good agency.
It's likely going to be way better very soon.
Very soon, it's going to cross that line, and I reckon that's sometime in 2018. So we're continuing to test using Google's automated bidding. You can run experiments, you can split test your campaigns inside of Google, and keep giving it a little bit of traffic and saying, go on and see if you can beat me. And it used to be it was 10% of the time it would beat us. Now it's probably 30% of the time, maybe 35% of the time. Still not quite there yet, but damn, it's improving fast. So could be automated. What else could you be automating? And even that's just getting stuff off your plate, even starting with human automation, which is the middle bit. Somebody else of a lower skill level than you should be doing those
My favorite saying at work, if I don't have to do it, it's automated.
Yeah. And just start there, because it's really hard to jump straight to automation and to hire a coder to build a program for something that you haven't even thought through the steps so you can teach it to someone else. So start by human automation and getting that shit off your plate and giving it to someone else. Then you can let the geeks automate that stuff. And then you need to focus on that top box. What is the stuff that only you should be doing. And so you can expand that top box and do more and more and more of that by getting rid of all the other stuff off your plate. And then if you want to draw a little dotted box above that, there's a little fourth box above those three. Stick a bloody great big question mark in that, because I don't know what's in that box either yet. But I think we need to be figuring that out.
It's lying on a beach, I think.
You reckon?
Did you have another slide?
No.
Okay.
You brought up a good point about retention, if you don't mind. Like on the automated, like the way you could bring it down kind of a ground level that you guys could run away with is, I know with Datat, we do like a 30-day challenge. We also do a detox that requires meal plans, workouts, recipes. We can email them to them all day long. And sometimes you guys know we have email deliverability. So what would your world look like for your client and your consumer experience if they were directly on Messenger and they had their recipe right there, or they had their workout right there? So that in is going to increase your retention as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The deliverability of that's incredible. I can't believe that's that high.
Yeah, and that's what we were sharing. 92.9% is our engagement rate. That's people that are actually playing with our bot every day. And that's the greatest thing about the bots is when you deliver an email, you may or may not know if they receive it, but the bot, they're raising their hand to play ball with you.
Right.
They're ready.
That's incredible. One of the things that we did this year that I'll put one last thing in here, and let's take some questions. If anybody's got questions, please get ready for those. But one of the things that we realized this year, we bought a lot of software, bought a lot of tools last year, and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth, a lot of which never got used. So never get used properly or set up properly. And one of the things that we've really adopted this year is let's automate that process manually. It's got manual automation, right? Can I set up a system that manually automates this? And if I can manually automate the process, then I can find a tool that takes that over.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, I likened it to, because I've written for a lot of health stuff before and fitness stuff. And people who are, like Anna said earlier, overweight, like me, she's bringing that up. I hate she's bringing that up. But we'll buy a treadmill and we'll say, that's what we're doing to help with our weight loss. We bought a treadmill, right? We do that in this business with technology. We have a problem in our business, so we buy a treadmill to fix it, right? We didn't try walking around the block twice a day for a week to see if we were actually going to do it first. So try to automate that stuff as much as you can with people and outsourcing and people in your staff. Automate it yourself. Follow the system yourself. Get somebody else to follow the system. And then if it works, then go out and seek out that software tool for it. All right, so these guys have done great so far, don't you think? Can we get a round of applause for them? Super smart folks. Who's got questions? Yes, over here, sir.
A couple of questions. Sort of unrelated, but this has been an amazing presentation, and my mind is spinning. Let's talk about Alexa and Google Home, and I know Google Home's doing a thing with chatting to get that commerce piece. But what can we in the room do to better utilize Alexa and Google Home to sell our products? That's the first question.
I think a lot of it is going to be about having data that is basically structured for voice search. I think voice is going to kind of screw up a lot of like CMS and like product data catalogs, and a lot of it is not really well structured for voice search. It's kind of thinking about how people speak at this point. It may be changing product descriptions, it may be editing product titles. And then it's basically going to be, I think, prompting your users to shop that way too. I think you're going to benefit from that. Once you have a customer base that's used to using these technologies, I think you're going to be kind of ready to take the next step as well.
And chances are you're going to want your products, your goods, and your services on platforms like Amazon and Jet, and these larger platforms that are going to partner with these technologies natively.
For sure.
Because it's going to be just too hard for you to probably, in the near term anyway, to work with these guys directly. One of the things that's really interesting, if you guys want to write down a really cool resource that I use all the time for our content marketing agency, it's called answerthepublic.com, answerthepublic.com. It's my absolute favorite little data tool. It's free right now. I'm sure they're going to start charging for it. But it pulls all the who, what, where, when, why, how queries for any search term. And you'll notice now they're getting really long. They're like 4, 5, 6 word long string queries. And it's because people are searching with voice more than they're searching, in a lot of cases, searching with voice. And those big long search terms are largely totally unserved.
Yep.
So when we're writing content to serve those long search terms, we're getting an immediate penetration into Google and into the other search engines for that content.
If you're running AdWords, do a search in your search query report for Hey Google, and you'll find all of the Hey Google queries in there. We're starting to see them more and more. Then take those keywords over to Amazon and plug those into their antiquated system on Amazon.
I've got a follow-up question for you on that. So as far as the Google Home and getting on with Jet, so we manage a lot of e-commerce products, so a lot of clients in the small to medium size space. So would you suggest like getting on the Jet platform or the Walmart platform to help get ahead of that so that we can take
Or
advantage
would you
of?
really suggest the Amazon platform?
Well,
do you think?
I'm just saying, like, is that something you guys are thinking about? That might not be in your area of expertise, but I'm just.
I mean, the way the Google platform works is it's essentially assigning it's kind of picking the winning bids.
Yep.
So at this point, there's not a lot of control that we have over the Google Home platform. But I think it's great to be a seller on Jet, and it's great to be a seller on Walmart because you will benefit from these orders.
Right.
And it is kind of like baby steps into this technology without having to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I would agree.
Over here. Yes, sir.
Question on the site Wordsmith, is that a .com or .net? I couldn't find it when I Googled it.
If you go to automatedinsights.com, it's a tool.
AutomatedInsights.com.
It's a tool of theirs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And let's do one over here. We'll keep going back and forth till we run out of time. Go ahead.
For the woman with the chatbots, when you talk about artificial intelligence, I have a company that does chatbots. Are you using regular expressions to give answers to your customers in the chatbots? Sort of like when they built a 1-800-Flowers with Shane Mack, you know, if A person answers B, they get C, or is it actually an artificial intelligence answering for you?
It's artificial intelligence based off of behavioral input triggers, if that makes sense. So we'll actually we could do like a weight loss quiz.
You script it though, right?
We script it.
Yeah.
We do the whole architecture. We do the intention. What is the intention out of this? And we reverse engineer the entire process. So
you're putting in the expressions, if this person answers this question, they're going to get this answer.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And those answers aren't changing based on that AI. You're just getting that AI data back, and then you may manually change those answers, right?
Yeah, then we can
For right
segment
now,
the sequence and then revise the script for another
And the
upsell.
future idea is that will be natural language, and the machine should learn how to respond to them, correct?
Absolutely, because we have those input triggers. We go off of emotion, intelligence. There's a bunch of demographics, so we can actually take those little input triggers, they're folders for each person, and segment them into a sequence so we can retarget them.
Fantastic. Yes.
So thanks for your great presentation. I'm a data scientist, so I'm curious about the Quill Engage. What kind of data gets imported into that? Could it be like Excel or?
They've got a few plugins, so you can go straight into Tableau if you've got lots and lots of data. Excel, Google Sheets, and a couple of others.
Okay, all right, so I could research that. And then GrowthBot, can you upload data sets in that search, or do you have to hand enter them?
No, GrowthBot's more for just ask a quick question.
Okay.
Like, tell me about this company.
It's
or
a bot
tell me about
version of
Perry.
Alexa, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, got it,
And you can
okay.
use that
And
through
then,
Slack.
at some point, could you each say your names and your company names again?
Go ahead. You guys start.
I'm Anna Selby. I work with Danette May, Real Dose Nutrition, and I own Pretty Witty.
Thanks.
PrettyWitty.com.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Travis Phipps. I work with Battle Bridge Labs.
Thanks.
My name is Benjamin Running. I work at jet.com.
Mike Rhodes, websavvy.com.au from down under.
And thanks. And Travis, what was your last name?
Phipps, P-H-I-P-P-S.
Oh, thank you.
Data scientist.
And last question down here, and we're going to wrap up. Yes, sir.
I was just really intrigued by the concept of unique ability, human automation, and then automation. Can you give some examples of unique abilities?
Well, so for me, it's focusing on what the computers won't be able to do for a while.
Judgment.
I'm not going to say ever, but yeah,
Largely
creativity,
judgment, right?
creativity, judgment, dealing with unique problems. Computers are very good where they've got lots of data, stuff that happens high frequency, but unique situations. Creativity, relationship, and strategy. That's what we're doubling down on at my agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, computers won't be able to play bad golf and take you out and get you drunk anytime fairly soon. I'm good at bad golf.
Gotcha. So the more human side of
Unique ability is
Human
like
stuff.
read up, if you Google it, Dan Sullivan Unique Ability, he'll explain it much better, and there's a 5-minute YouTube video. It's the stuff that lights you up, that you love doing, you feel like you can always get better at, and that needs that creativity and that strategic input. Like, the future is smart machines working with smart people. Figure out what you just want to get smarter and smarter and smarter at, and then pull a really smart machine along for the ride.
Biggest breakthrough that I had on that personally ever in the last 5 years ago, when I first started working with Roland Frazier, who's my partner now, Ryan and I's partner now. You know, I think he might have said it to me, or somebody said to me along the time. He said, "How many hours a day do you think Tiger Woods spends practicing his jump shot?" And the answer is none, right? If we should all, everybody in this room, and I tell my kids this, everybody this, the best advice I could give anybody is be the best in the world at what you're already good at, and what you're not very good at right now, fuck it. Don't worry about it anymore. Because the best you're probably going to be is moderately okay. Yeah. Who cares? Get other people to do those things that you're not good at. Do what you do exceptionally well. Be the best in the world at it. Thank you. Super. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Can we give this panel a big round? One of the most fun sessions I've had in a really long time. Thank you guys so much. Be free to, these guys will be, where are you guys going to be?
Floating around.
Floating around. So I know Travis will be over by the Native Commerce booth. I don't know where Jed will be.
Jet.
Where Ben will be.
Hey, upstairs, speaking about VR and AR.
Yeah, he's going to be doing virtual reality and augmented reality talk right after this. Yeah. So if you didn't geek out enough in here, please go up and see Ben talk about that. I'm going to go there. Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome. And a big hand for Perry Belcher.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys
go that way.